Now with 0% more Hassan footage.
The high ground is something that is almost universally used by every leader on every server. It's also one of the most misused tactics in the game too, because you feel all superior when you're high up there shooting down on your enemy, but sometimes you don't realize that's actually losing you the fight in the long run. High ground needs to be used differently depending on your current situation. If you're the attacker, it would be best to send a minimal amount of troops to the high ground position solely for the purpose of denying it to your enemies, unless you're at the point where all you need to do is camp the spawn room and let the cap timer run down. If you spend too much time up there before you've got everything locked down, you're gonna have trouble holding the point and making the capture altogether, and you're gonna eventually get this assault turned around on you. When you're defending, the high ground can be your salvation or your undoing. If you can get it fast enough and keep enough of a force to suppress the enemy, you can break almost any siege on any territory. However, if you don't get there in time, the invaders will just use it to spawn camp you, and then you're gonna get steamrolled. Thirdly, the high ground can be used for pushing out of a big standstill if there's a large enough force on the ground to contend with the enemy. You can just position your troops on a higher ground to pick away at the enemy forces so that the ground forces can move through a tight area. This is great for those Indar Canyon fights. Alright, time to prepare yourself for some sweet MS Paint drawings! There are several common types of high ground that can be used for killing people on Araxis. The first is the peak of a low hill, because the only guys that are going to get murdered out there are your guys. Despite the elevation advantage these hills offer, they're completely eclipsed by the fact that you're pretty much on a giant f***ing pedestal for every Liberator tank and foot shoulder to shoot at for some easy certifications. Low hills like these offer almost no line of sight coverage from the enemy, and you usually have to go far enough down the hill to where you no longer have your height advantage to hide yourself off from one side of the hill. A good rule of thumb about these hills is if you can see the top of this hill from any point in the base that you're attacking or defending, it's probably not worth sending troops over there. The second type you'll frequently run into is the sharp hill or mountain with a small spot on it to stand with your back against the mountain, like say on Indar or Amrish. These are good if you can just get a few crack shots to drop pod down onto them and pick off as many enemies as they can before they get noticed. Just remember though, there's only one way out of these places, and it's usually down the rock right into the enemy's forces. You're sending your troops to their deaths right now. But when are you not? The third type of high ground you will commonly run into on Araxis is a steep climb or a cliff that has a plateau on the top. Think that area on top of Howling Pass or the many mazes around the Paris Amp Station region. These are best suited places for posting up a while and maybe even bringing a Sunday to the area. The enemy can't get you because it's either a straight cliff, which they can't jump jet up, or the climb is so steep that their view is heavily obscured as you rain down gunfire on them. You can hold out in these places for a while, but don't stay here too long, because more people are going to get annoyed at your camping, friend and foe alike. Or worse, you'll get too sucked up in your defense up there and you'll have all your troops up on that hill and nobody actually defending the outpost itself. This is how alerts get lost thanks to one platoon acting on one man's decision. Ask yourself, do you really want to be the reason why your faction lost that territory alert on X continent because you wanted to turtle farm instead of directly defending? Now that we've covered the main types of high ground that can be used in Planetside 2, there's a few more things I need to take into consideration about high ground with you before I let you all run off to Howling Pass to try this out. First, the longer you hold high ground, the less effective it becomes. High ground is a fixed position that your enemy will eventually adapt to and circumvent completely unless you can change up your tactics often enough and meet them on the low ground again. Second, don't f***ing camp the southeast warp gate on Indar. Nobody actually benefits from this act because you don't gain enough certs to overpass, say, attacking a normal base normally, and you piss off whoever is currently at the southeast gate in Indar they're gonna log off. Like, dude, it's not cool. Okay, I'm done soapboxing now. No review today. Instead, you shall take 10 seconds to contemplate these beautiful works of art. Okay, good. Not only have I educated you now, but I've cultured you today as well. If you enjoyed this video, or you just enjoy me in general, I strongly urge you to show off your superior taste by liking and sharing this video to everyone you know. Make sure that you subscribe to me so that you can get all the new Planetside 2 videos I churn out as soon as they come out. Now, if you excuse me, I'll be submitting these paintings to an art gallery.